Guruveshu Chittam Jena Lagnam Gurorangripadme Tatah kim Tatah kim Tatah kim Tatah kim
Aranye
Navasvasya gehena karye Aranye Navasvasya gehena karye Navihe mano vartate me tvanargye Mano vartate me tvanargye Manaschenna lagnam Gurorangripadme Tatah kim Tatah kim Tatah kim Tatah kim Takam yav pathet punya dehi Rorashtakam yav pathet punya dehi Yatir bhupatir brahmachari chagehi Bhupatir brahmachari chagehi Labhed vanchitartham
Padam
Brahma sangyam Labhed vanchitartham Brahma sangyam
Gururuktavakye mano yasya lagnam
Gururuktavakye mano yasya lagnam. Very nice. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. What are the most important foundational texts upon which Swami Dayananda has expounded? I take the Gita and Upanishads for granted in this question, meaning don't talk about that. So, better to word the question this way: what has he not expounded? That's easier to talk about. Really, what a prolific mind, what a prolific buddhi. Vishala buddhi is something that is we use for Vyasa. Namaste, namostute vishala buddhe, phullara vindayata patra netra. Where does it come? Very nice. So, this is what we say for this Bhagavan Vyasa. But the same thing I feel applies to Pujya Swamiji also. And he loved, in those days there was not archive.org, was not there, where all the things are digitalized. How do you say it? Digitalized? Digitized, yeah. Where all the things are digitized, it wasn't there. And so he loved to go to old, dusty, smelly bookstores, because that is where all the treasure was. His treasure was there. And then it was also the exigencies of the situation. Like one time, one Swami came to him and said, I have been invited to go to the States. This was in the 60s. Nobody was being invited to go to the States at that time. But somehow, some family or somebody had invited him. He got the visa also and he was ready to go. But does not even know V for Vedanta. Nothing he knows. So what to do? Swamiji said, why don't you stay here and postpone your trip a little bit, study, and then you can go teach. Because he wanted some mal. What is mal? Some stuff. Yeah. Something to go teach there. Swamiji said, you have to first study, then you can teach. So why don't you stay? No time. how much time you got? I got about a month. I'm going in a month. I can come for a month. So then he said, okay, let me see, because he didn't know what to teach in a month, so that because this Swami is going to be let loose in the United States. Yes. So he has to teach properly whatever he teaches. So then he said, let me just go to some bookstore. This was in Rishikesh. There was one bookstore somewhere on the other side of the river. It's not there now. And it was managed by a couple of Swamis. And then there was an attic where Swamiji loved to go, because it had all these Sanskrit books. And that is how the Tattva Bodha was found. You know, books also have their prarabdha. That's how I learned. Because it was sitting in the dusty attic, nobody knew. And Swamiji was thrilled. He said, all the definitions in one book. Fantastic. Teach the Swami the basics of everything in this book and dispatch him, send him off. And that is how the Tattva Bodha was not only was born again, and then the Tattva Bodha then became a part of every long-term Vedanta course syllabus, not only in our ashram but in all the other ashrams, in Chinmaya, in everything, every place. Tattva Bodha is a must. Till then people did not even know that such a book existed. And then another time Swamiji went to Kashi, and there also he just, when other people were spending time doing other things, he was up in the attic in different stores. And in one bookstore he found this torn thing. And then it was the discovery of Advaita Makaranda, another advanced text, a Manana Grantha, a Grantha for Mananam, that is there in our syllabus and in many other syllabi as well. And so a lot of texts he found like this. And he also made Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's texts very famous, because he taught Upadesha Saram, which we should do, which is very nice text. Maybe next 3-month course we'll see. And then Upadesha Saram, and what else? Saddarshanam, all these things. And many things, very obscure texts which people hadn't heard of, and all this he would just do that again and again. Very prolific buddhi. So first he found the Advaita Makaranda, and then on another dusty trip somewhere he found a commentary to the Advaita Makaranda. Then he said, I was traveling with him at that time, and then he said that, I just don't have time to teach this. I'm always moving. If I had just a month somewhere staying put, then I would teach this along with a commentary. And then, alas, as fate would have it, he got sick in Thailand. And so he had to stay there for 5-6 weeks. And then the very next day, he had a heart attack. The very next day after the heart attack, he said, let us just delve into this. I said, no, Swamiji, you're not, pooh, nothing will happen. Let's just do this. There was no convincing him. And then there was myself and 2-3 other people later on who joined. And then he was also giving satsangs in the hospital. Yes. First it was just 4 to 5 in the evening, and everybody wanted it in the whole hospital. And so they printed out a notice and put it in the notice board on all the floors, you would say. You would see his picture, they took a picture, and then they said, holy Swami from India visiting, and then satsang free of cost, everybody come. And in that, he had a hospital suite, and Everybody was practically sitting on one another's lap. It was always full, always full. And nobody, 4 to 5 in the evening, I still remember, was the satsang, and to get them out, it was very difficult. I had my hands full, literally. So what I would do is take the prasad and stand outside and shake the box of chocolate, hoping that people will file out. Ajao, ajao. So that's how I had to get them out on most days. And then the people who were on the night shift complained because they are not there at 4 o'clock. Their shift starts at 7. And what about them? He said, no problem, we'll do another from 8 to 9. You take your break and come. And I said, we have to run this by your cardiologist. No, he doesn't need to know anything. I said, he is exactly the person who needs to know. So the cardiologist allowed half an hour in the evening before he retired. So the evening satsang was short, and then people would come, all kinds of questions, all kinds of people. Am I going to get moksha? Can you please read my hand? And of course, tens of thousands of horoscopes, hundreds of horoscopes were piling up. Please read my horoscope. And this was a person who was so weak. But when he sat and talked, you could not tell anything. He would be coughing, hacking, and talking. You could not even stop him. It was some Bhagavan, that was Bhagavan speaking, really, in a sense. And then I will conclude this question with one of my favorite stories, and the story of the bookshop in Jaipur. And the bookshop in Jaipur happened to be in a 5-star hotel where he was staying, and to give some talks. And then every day he just used to pass by the bookshop and look at a few things and then go away. And then one day he said, go see if he has Sanskrit books. I said, this is a bookstore in a 5-star hotel. Swamiji, how will they have this? They will have just these coffee table books, these big print photos and all these things. Visit Rajasthan, be happy, incredible India. These are the kinds of things they will have, Swamiji. And then he said, really? I said, yes. Are you sure? I said, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure this is what they will have. And then he said, ask him if he has an attic. I said, okay. So the next time I said, and he said, oh, you want to buy a book? I said, no, but do you have an attic? He said, nobody has asked me that. But actually, yes, we do have an attic. So then Swamiji was so excited. And he said, what books are there in the attic? Ask him. I said, Swamiji, why don't you come along with me? You can talk to him. So he came along with me. And then he said, what is there? So some old books. Sanskrit books, yes, many Sanskrit books. His eyes, yes, it was really like a child in a chocolate shop, toffee shop. And eyes were huge. And then he said, oh, but I have to cut the ribbon here. I have to go there and do that. I have to go here. I have to do this. No time. He said, I tell you one thing. You just buy the whole attic and come back. Myself and Swami Mudita, who was visiting today, my friend. So, Guru Bhai, we looked at each other and he said to me, we let Swamiji go to his room, and he said to me, don't buy the whole attic. Swamiji just says things. If you say, I didn't buy the whole attic, he's not going to say anything. I said, no, he has said it, I'm going to buy the whole attic. So then, but I didn't have any money to buy even, more than few books. Where will I get the money from? So I went to Swamiji and said, what to do about this small inconvenient detail of cash. We are only used to ash. Where is the cash going to come from? No, he said, don't worry. No, don't worry. I have money, he said. I'm a rich man, he said. I have money. You just buy. And you tell him to come and get it from me, no problem. So, 7 big boxes were packed. And then I went to the attic and it was so dusty, and I thought, oh my God, this is what Swamiji has been doing. So whatever little I could tell which would be useful, I separated them and asked them for it to be packed. 7 big boxes came to Swamiji's suite. And then followed by the man who was a little nervous, who is going to pay me? Yeah, these are all impoverished people staying in big hotels. Somebody made the booking, they are just coming and staying, and then he also heard that Swamiji is going away in 5 days. It was a 10-day trip. And so 5 days were over, another 5 days were there, and then and there was another Guru Bhai also, who is actually one of the Swamis there in Jaipur only. So he said, oh, what is going to happen? I said, well, it's all in God's hands. Let it just go as it is. So then he said, I can sell a few things from the ashram and raise the funds. I said, no, just leave. He said he will pay, so don't worry. So then every night, I had to change my route because when I went to his shop, I had to pass to go to Swamiji's room, but I had to go through a circuitous route, service delivery route, so that this bookstore man won't see me, because it was getting extremely awkward. He said, hey, where is your Swami? Where is my money? That's a lot of books. That's a whole lot of books. And he said, I said, look, I have never known him to be not a man of his words. He's a Mahatma. He's a Jnani. If he says you will be paid, you will definitely be paid. Do not worry. Easier said than done. Of course he'll worry. And if somebody is worried and you tell them not to worry, what will they do? They will worry even more. And then so I said, look, you come and you sit, every time after the talk, it would be like a satsang up till midnight. Everybody would be sitting there. Nobody would leave. And Swamiji would be cracking jokes, talking, laughing, reading hands, reading legs, reading horoscopes, doing all kinds of things. And so I said, why don't you just come and sit? So he came and sat like a wooden statue, would not laugh at any joke, and would not do this thing. And then Swamiji asked me, who is this man who doesn't even smile? I said, he's the bookstore wala. He's from him. Okay, let him keep coming. So he came. Every day he was sitting like a statue, every night and then he would, at least the target was in front of him. That was only his saving solace. Okay, the Swami is not running away, it's there. And then on the second last day, he found out that tomorrow is the last day. And he was in a panic and he was angry. He was angry with me, he was angry with Swami Mudita, he was angry with Swami Brahmaparananda, he was angry with all of us. And we just tried to placate him, but it was not working. And then so the last day arrived, all good things must come to an end. And then those 7 boxes were just there even. And then I told him, I said, look, here are the boxes, here are all your books. If you are not paid, the worst thing that will happen is you have to take it back. You can do that. Then that gave him a little bit more confidence. He came and sat there, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 11:30. Then slowly the people started to file out. They took 10th time prasad, and then finally, slowly, one by one, started to file out. The crowd started to thin. No talk about the money, nothing was there. 11:45, 11:50, 11:55, And then I just said to him, I said, tomorrow the flight is a little late, so morning still there is hope. He was angry. He was just frothing at the mouth by this time. And so I said, now he should rest. Just then somebody came, all breathless, they came in. Swamiji, I'm so happy you haven't gone to bed. I had to see you. He was from Jaipur, but some business person, but he had been traveling on work. He came and then he just said, I'm so happy to see you. I'm delighted. And I made a lot of money this week and I just want to give it to you. And then he just gave this. I don't know. In those days we had 1,000 rupee notes. Do you remember that? Some people, yeah. So this hugely, insanely big bundle of many bundles of 1,000 rupee notes. And Swamiji said, where is our man? And the bookstore fellow came slowly. He didn't even count it. He said, here, see, this is for you. Do you think that will compensate for that? And the man was just in tears. He was bathed in tears. He was like, no, this is too much. I can't take this. Just give me a little bit. No. He says, no, just take it, live happily. And then I said, Swamiji, you need to rest. Rest? No, we have to read the book now that we have paid for it. We have paid for the book because that's why I hadn't opened, because we hadn't paid for it. Now open and then give me one book. And then actually I read that book to him, and then the other two, at that time we were all brahmacharis. The other two brahmacharis are pressing the feet and I am reading this book. It was an amazing book. Very, very wonderful book. And it was a book about Panini. It was not about grammar, but it was about Panini's life. We don't have that many books about Panini's life story and how he was a great benefactor and a great philanthropist and also a great champion of girls' Gurukula and Kanya Gurukulas and girls' education. So like this, so I think I read to him till it was almost 2 in the morning, and then he went to bed. So that is the expounding text story. Yeah. So, yeah. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha. What is the meaning of matparaha? Matparaha, paraha means committed. Committed, so like tatparaha, matparaha, and then what? Dhyana-paraha, moksha-paraha. Whenever the word paraha comes, it is committed to that, it is with that. So, matparaha, committed to me, not me, okay? Yeah, committed to me. Who is saying? Lord Krishna. Where? Bhagavad Gita. So, matparaha. Now, if one is a Krishna devotee, one will think that, okay, only Krishna. You don't have to look this side, you don't have to look that side. And then Rama, cross. Shiva, cross. Devi, cross. Who should you pray to? Only Krishna, nobody else. Matparaha, that is the only way, that is the goal, that is the way. This is how many people would interpret it perhaps, but really that is not the intention, especially if you read the Bhashya about this Matparaha and about understanding this, we will see that that is not at all the intent. The intent is here is Matparaha is Bhagavan. Bhagavan, one who is the person who is committed to Ishvara, committed to the Lord. See, we can have the Lord as a means to the goal, and that's how everyone starts off. God is a means to the goal, correct? And then later on, as one grows in mumukshutvam, in the gain for freedom, etc., then what do you have? Bhagavan becomes the goal. So when Bhagavan becomes the goal, one can be said to be Matparaha, Tatparaha. Question 1. Only 2 are there. Good. So many people go to a psychic medium after a loved one passes away to try and get a message from them. If we become unmanifest after we die, then how is this possible? Or wouldn't it, and they are just fakes? Not necessarily. You see, the thing is, we don't become unmanifest after we die, first of all. Because what happens? Some things are left behind to burn or to bury. What is left behind? And say it shastrically, Sthula Sharira. Very good. Sthula Sharira is left behind for the loved ones to dispose of. And then what travels? Sukshma Sharira. Sukshma Sharira travels. So if one is a psychic or a medium and has some gift of being able to cross the veil from this side of the living to the other side and then get some information, maybe that is a siddhi. Maybe it is like a siddhi. Some people may have that. So, then what will be sending the message? So, the Sukshma Sharira, the information could come which is stored in the Sukshma Sharira, or they could be incarnated in a different form in some parallel universe. That is also possible. Or they are in some loka, in the same form as they were, they are in Pitraloka, maybe they send a blessing or whatever. I don't know. I have never wanted to or had the curiosity to know what happens on the other side, because sooner or later we will all get there, so no problem. Why rush with that? No point. And then also there is a reason why there is a curtain. Okay, why go peek there? Why? I have never felt the need to breach that. So I have let that be, but Sukshma Sharira is there, and so it's not that everything has become unmanifest. A while ago, you mentioned Jesus and Buddha have had to have special births because they took on people's karma. No, I didn't say they took on people's karma. Special birth, I said. I said about Jesus. I don't know if I said about Buddha. But Buddha's birth was also special because his mother, what was her name? Maya, Mahamaya, I think. And then she had some very auspicious dreams. She had a dream that the elephant with a big tusk was guarding the baby that she was about to birth, and was waiting to greet the baby. Like that, she had some very auspicious signs. Elephant is auspicious, lotus is auspicious, so she had elephant and lotus dreams. So, I didn't say they take on people's karma, okay. Special birth is for avatara. This is what I said. And we'll see in the 4th chapter very nicely, we will see all about this special birth. So, if Bhagavan is going to walk on the earth, then what kind of form should they have? Human form or even animal form, in other words, a jiva's form. So I didn't say they take on other people's karma. I see what you where the mistake was. They are born due to other people wondering why they are not here yet. When is Bhagavan going to come and save this thing? Everybody is praying. The tyranny is too much. The difficulty is too much. Everybody is suffering. So they pray for a tangible form of God to come and walk the earth. And the birth of these kinds of avatara beings cannot be maculate. Maculate means following the usual story of how children are born. How are children born? Due to what? Karma. Whose karma? Their own karma. And so they are born. But here, will Bhagavan have karma? No. Will Bhagavan have sanchita? No. Agami? No. What to talk of prarabdha? So therefore, we need a magical body that is nothing to do with the karma. It's not that they take on other people's karma, it's that they are born as a result of the punya karma of all the people who have been praying for the avatara to come and eagerly waiting for the avatara to come. So we know big avatars, but there are many, many small, small avatars also. People called Ramakrishna Paramahamsa an avatara. People called Adi Shankaracharya an avatara of Shiva. So like that, it doesn't have to be a big avatara, it can be a small, small avatara also. And so, the karma for this kind of a birth, which is like what the Mandukya Upanishad will describe as Ubhayataf Prajna. They know everything and they also are born with full enlightenment. There is no need to seek it because that is there. But along with that enlightenment, since there is the human body, there is the tamas is there, and the tamas puts a little disc on that, not on the enlightenment, but on the ability to, so that they are fixed in that role. You see? And how do we know this? Because after Rama finished his avatara job, Vasishtha had to tap him on the shoulder and say, remember who you are. Your work is done. And then immediately it was like some kind of a magic mantra which made him remember and relinquish that body of that Ramahood he was able to give up. And then, so like this, we have, this is Ubhayataf Prajna, knowing everything and then complete self-awareness and no self-ignorance, but with an as though covering, which makes it seem to other people that they are also laughing, talking, crying. Rama was crying when Sita was abducted, and so like this. So the birth has to be immaculate. We see this for Jesus, and we see this for Krishna also. Krishna was born, never cried, and did not even know how he was born. Suddenly he was there, and then he had to be taken to another place for his safety on a very stormy and terribly rainy deluge night. And so that is called immaculate birth. That shows that one has bypassed the karmic channels of birth. There is no, the papa which they may have physically, like the papa that the Rama's body mind sense complex had to undergo by separating from Sita, that papa would be because of some people who willed wrongly or something like that. But otherwise, it's just a punya body. Even though it goes through challenges, it is primarily a punya body. So if it's a punya body, it is there to do good to others, to show others something, to teach others something, to help with the state of the world. So it's not that they take on other people's karma, they are born due to the punya karma of all the people. Okay? Yeah. Then, at the time of shortlisting prospective marriage partners, many people use Vedanga Jyotisham for screening purposes. What actually they do look at, is it from the match? Is it the match of Ragadvesha? Can Vedanga Jyotisham used for the prediction of my future, or is my future my Purushartha? How can a student of Vedanta make use of Vedanga Jyotisham? First of all, I do not know what Vedanga Jyotisham is. Okay, I know Jyotisham little bit, I know what it means, and so if I don't know what Vedanga Jyotisham is, maybe it's a special kind, because there are many kinds of astrologies, many styles of astrology. There is horary astrology, mundane astrology, KP astrology, and so many other forms of astrology are there. Maybe Vedanga Jyotisham is something, or maybe simply the questioner may mean the Jyotisham that comes as a part of the Anga of the Vedas. So, Shiksha, Kalpaha, Shiksha, Kalpo, Niruktam, Vyakaranam, and then Chandas and Jyotisham. So, it is, I am going to take it as just plain Jyotisham. So when, when the horoscopes are matched, Ragadveshas are not seen. What is, in charge is Bhagavan. So they make a lot of very intricate calculations to see how, not only what whether they will like each other or whether they will spend a good life together, that is all of course important, but to see not just the compatibility, but to see whether their goals for the future are aligned. And the goals for the future again are not based on Ragadveshas, but based on which devatas are reigning in which houses, which zodiac houses, not regular houses, which zodiac houses, which devatas are reigning, as a result of which some people are skilled in certain things and some people are not. Some people have a kind of a faraway outlook and some people just live for the day. And so the matches are made on a certain 36 points like this. And out of that, if you get 18 together, if 18 areas match, they say, okay, get ready for marriage, no problem. But sometimes it will be just 4 or 5 match or just 10 or 12 match. And then there is also the match of the nakshatras, the birth star that was on the eastern horizon when one was born, that shows the, what is it called? The Lagna star, the ascendant, and the moon sign in which one was born, that also has 27 constellations, 27 nakshatras, which the moon passes through in the course of one month. And so that also they match, because the nakshatras are deities, they have personalities. There are books on nakshatras. They are alive. For the people who study Jyotish, nakshatras are alive. They have their personality. And then so if 2 nakshatras, certain nakshatras get along very well, certain nakshatras, they are okay, they can tolerate in each other's spaces. Certain nakshatras do not like other nakshatras at all, and people in those nakshatras must not be matched. So basically it's not Ragadveshas, because Ragadveshas you don't need Jyotisham. You can, what can you do? You can just go to a computer and fill in your Ragadveshas, and the other person fills in their Ragadveshas, and then the computer arranges the marriage. So here that's not it. Here we understand, we see the firmament, we see the stars, we see the constellations, we see the planets as Bhagavan. So basically Bhagavan does the match here. Okay. And then next, can Jyotisham be used to predict my future, or is my future Purushartha? Future is Purushartha. But Purushartha within a certain, what is that called? Within a certain scheme. That scheme is Prarabdha. And within a certain scheme you have some elbow room. That is Purushartha. Prarabdha has given you the parentage, Prarabdha has given you the place of birth, Prarabdha has given you which city you were born in and where you lived and all that. Prarabdha gave you your sisters, brothers, uncles, aunts, grandparents, all this. But then, if one is a human being, Along with prarabdha, there is also what? Free will. And the free will can change things. Can change things a lot, because we can go with our free will, we can go against the current of where the it's not that everything is predestined, but there are certain indications where those indications lie. Like in Pujya Swamiji's horoscope, there were two, what is that called? Two kinds of livelihoods. Is that what you call occupations? Occupation, livelihood, whatever. Neither of those are the best of terms, but that is what is coming to mind now. So, two kinds of areas, they said. They said either he will give up everything and become a Swami. It was there. There were enough planetary conjunctions to indicate that. It's an indication. But the person has to choose. You know, you can take the horse to water, but the water has to be drunk by the horse. And then, or he would be a great, great singer, the likes of which the world has not seen. And somebody read, another Swami in Rishikesh itself, read his horoscope and said, you know what you would have been if you were not a Swami? He said, no, I don't know. What would I have been? You would have been one of the greatest musicians of contemporary times. And then Swamiji thought about it. Okay. Well, he said, I still don't regret being a Swami. You know why? And the other Swami said, why? Because as a Swami, I can sing to my heart's content, but had I been a musician, a singer, I could not be a Swami to my heart's content. So that's Prarabdha Purusha interplay for you. And then what else? How should a student of Vedanta make use of Jyotisham? Yeah, look for any kind of obstacles here. And then do some parihara. Parihara means upaya. That didn't help. Remedial measures. Okay, remedial measures. Follow some remedial measures, and then there will be some puja, do this, do that, chant this, chant there, go here, go there, something. They'll make you, and some of them make no sense. Feed a black dog curd rice. What is the connection between feeding a black dog curd rice and then getting a job? You tell me, please. Yeah. But that is what it is. There is a whole book of remedies called Red Book Remedies. In Hindi it is called Lal Kitab. Yes. Some people already know about it. Yeah. All kinds of things like this are there. Feed a black dog yogurt rice and you will get a job on the 7th day. All right, some things like that. So many things like this, so they are there. So if there is Shraddha in the red book, and I'm not talking of Mao's book, okay, yeah, that's also called red book. We have to be careful here. Yeah, if there is Shraddha in the Lal Kitab remedies, maybe it works. We don't know. So for the student of Vedanta, Jyotisham becomes a guiding light. Not so much for its predictive quality, but more for what are the things to avoid. Okay, this is a difficult time. Why? Saturn, Rahu, everybody is in this particular house. And so what to do? Don't talk. That's all. It will say, yeah, stop talking. Yeah. Because when you open your mouth, you get into trouble. No, but I haven't said anything. Yeah, but do you see that the insect went in? Yeah, that's what I mean. If you open your mouth, you get into trouble. Don't open the mouth. For how long? 7.5 years. Sade Sati it is called. Saturn in the 12th house, Saturn in the first house, no, Saturn in the 12th house, Saturn in the first house, yes, and Saturn in the second house. This is 7.5 years because Saturn is a slow coach. He takes 2.5 years to cross one zodiac sign, and in between he goes retrograde also, and all these things. Now where is Saturn? In the Pisces constellation. In the Meena Rashi, Saturn is sitting. So anybody with an Aquarius moon sign, and then what else? Of course, Pisces, the Meena moon sign, and then what is coming afterwards? Aries moon sign. It's affecting 3 moon signs right now. Yes. So if you belong to any of these moon signs, stop talking for at least for the next 5 years. Yeah. So because 2.5 years you have already gone. If you are in Mean Rashi, if you are in Aquarius, then very little. Only 2.5 years you have to keep quiet. And so these are all certain things. When Rahu is in an angry place, you have to just keep quiet. You have to just swallow whatever happens and just keep quiet. You increase your titiksha and you just be and you hang on to the knowledge and you don't look this side or that side. You just use it for inner refinement. It really works, I tell you. You grow as a person when there are adverse constellations and adverse, what are they called? Dashas. No translation for dashas, so I'm not going to bother. So, so there are certain periods. So dashas are there, adverse inimical dashas are there. So you have to sit tight and become prayerful and pray for everything to be mitigated and pray for whatever cannot be mitigated, to pray for the strength to overcome it, and above all, please keep me in the knowledge. Please let me not misunderstand the Shastra, misunderstand other people, misunderstand the teaching, misunderstand the teacher. This is what we have to keep doing this. Pray for objectivity. So it will help us to guide. And certain other times, you know that it is easy going. It's like getting on the escalator and then what? You don't have to climb the stairs. It climbs it for you. It just takes you up. But supposing you are by mistake, you went on the one going down and then you are trying to go up, then it will be a little difficult. That is what is when the Saturn and all these malefics are in the wrong place. But otherwise, when the going is good, maximize that time for Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam. Then, next one, Panchadashi, verse 20. Creation of Manas and Buddhi is mentioned. What is Chit and Ahankara made up of? Reference book. Verse 20. Yeah. Tairantah karana karanam sarvaihi vritti bhedena tadvidha mano vimarsha rupam syat buddhisyan nishchayatmika. When we took this verse, I remember saying that only Manas and Buddhi are talked about. Why? Because these are the two things that are most used. And Chittam and Ahankara are also there, but they are not talked about. So, Chittam and Ahankara are also coming from what? The Samashti Sattvikamsha of all the 5 elements. Same thing. Okay. Yes. Gates of Yamaloka. Okay. In today's class, Swamiji said that the Guru shows the way, Gandhara, or the north gate. No, Gandhara. No, north is not Yamaloka. South is gate of Yama. Okay. South. The direction south is ruled by Lord Yama. Does that mean that a self-realized person also has to enter Yamaloka? My understanding was once you attain enlightenment, you just realize you are Brahman and there is no traveling. Correct? Yeah. Can you please throw some light on the gates and travels? See, no gates. We are talking not of gates. We are talking of what? Directions. Everything is sacred in the Hindu tradition, and the directions are also sacred, and they have deities guarding the directions. They are all directions. So, north is redemption. and it's the place of freedom. North, no, not north. North means north of what? No, northern direction. Wherever you are, the northern direction is redemption, freedom, lightness. South is death, guarded by death. That doesn't mean that you should not, go south. That is not the idea. This is just directions. East and west also have guards. I forgot. I used to remember all this, but forgot. But easily we can look it up. This is, you can look it up on Google later. So, and also these are the cardinal directions, and the non-cardinal directions also have devatas guiding. So this is just a place where devatas are. That's all it is. So, a person who has self-knowledge doesn't, Yamaloka, it's not Yamaloka. Yama is guarding that direction. The presiding deity guarding the direction is called Yama. That's all it is. That's why we don't face south for any auspicious things, auspicious undertakings. Southern direction is not preferred. Then, the only deity that can face south is who? Lord Dakshinamurti. That's why it's called Dakshina is in the name. Dakshina means south. So faces south. Dakshina Abhimukha Murtihi. Dakshinamurti. Another derivation is there. Dakshascha asau amurtascha. The one that is capable, has samarthya for what? Cutting the cords of samsara. That samarthya, the one who has dakshascha asau and whose form is formless. That is also Dakshinamurti. So Dakshinamurti faces south, so that when you face Dakshinamurti, what direction are you facing? North. And north is for moksha. So the blessing of Lord in this form gives moksha. That's all it is. Nothing else. I think east is Kubera, if I remember, and west is something else. You can look it up. Yeah, it's just a, what's its name? Just directions. They are not lokas. Now, one bada question. Oh ho ho. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 3.1 and 4. Shall we leave this for tomorrow? Yes. And there's one more also. We will leave it for tomorrow. All right. Yeah. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.